General Hospital GH. Spoilers hint that Ava Jerome, Maura West, is blackmailing Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, and reveling in her good fortune. But how long can this siphoning scheme last? Alexis has plenty of dough thanks to being the overseer of the Casadine fortune. But Ava is starting to get cocky. And you know what they say about pride and falls. Ava has a partner in crime, Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst. They are blackmailing Alexis because they know her daughter Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mansi, tried to kill them. Fans are speculating like mad about how they think Ava's scheme comes to an end. On the one hand, Damian Spinelli, Bradford Anderson, is on the case, and he managed to get some key intel for Alexis, but it came too late. He located the car that Chrissy tampered with, but alas, it was moved before Alexis could get her hands on it. Alexis was disappointed that the car was gone, but she's not out of options yet. Maybe she'll have Spinelli keep searching for the missing car, or she could go another route and have him dig up evidence from another source. Will Spinelli be the one who leads to Ava's blackmail demise? There's someone else who could end Ava's blackmail, and that's Christina herself. What are the chances that Christina does the right thing and comes clean? Honestly, little to none. She has shown no proclivity to think straight, nor act right. In Christina's the case, the window to do the right thing is closed, because the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Full stop. But the gravy train may be stopped due to a third person's intervention. Lucky cowboy Spencer, Jonathan Jackson. Lucky knows what Christina did, but out of misguided loyalty he stayed quiet. That could all change if he decides to do right by his baby mama Liz. He is skating on thin ice by keeping what he knows from Liz. Curiously, Liz said something on the Thursday, May 15 episode that could be a hint of how things will turn out. She admitted to being in love with Lucky, not noted that he always leaves her in the end. Tell us, GH fans, do you think that Lucky will be the one to reveal Ava's secret, and then leave PC to avoid Liz's wrath and disappointment? Port Charles is about to catch fire, again. And this time it's not mob violence or Casadine chaos threatening to turn the town upside down, but a fiery personal war erupting between Elizabeth Weber and Lucky Spencer. In the latest shocking twist unfolding on General Hospital, spoilers suggest that Liz may finally be ready to walk away from Lucky once and for all after he does the unthinkable, exposing Ava Jerome's secret blackmail operation and bringing her entire scheme crashing down, right as Liz was working behind the scenes to keep the damage under control. At the center of it all is a web of secrets, lies, and misplaced loyalties, and when it finally unravels, there may be no going back for one of GH's most iconic couples. Fans of Elizabeth and Lucky, prepare yourselves. This ride gets dark fast. Elizabeth Weber has spent the better part of the last year rebuilding her life. After enduring unspeakable pain, the loss of her husband Franco, the chaos that came with Nicholas' disappearance, and the emotional turmoil of raising 3 boys while working full-time at General Hospital, Liz had slowly found her footing again. And just as things began to settle, Lucky came back to town. His return was sudden and unexpected, and yet for Liz it felt familiar. Comforting. Like unfinished business finally circling back around. The chemistry was still there, buried under years of heartbreak and separation. But so were the scars. Still, the pair tentatively began to reconnect. Not as star-crossed teenagers or chaotic 20-somethings, but as 2 adults who had weathered years of loss and were maybe, just maybe, ready to try again. But love in Port Charles is never easy, and Liz has always found herself drawn to danger, sometimes by choice, sometimes by accident. Enter Ava Jerome, the queen of secrets, lies, and complicated alliances. Ava recently uncovered a bombshell, a recording that could implicate someone very powerful in a recent criminal cover-up. Rumors suggest the tape involves a shady deal between Valentine Casadine and a corrupt judge, one that could shatter not just lives, but entire dynasties in Port Charles. Ava didn't go public. Not yet. Instead, She began using the recording as leverage, blackmailing her way into power with her usual mix of charm, strategy, and menace. Somehow, Elizabeth found out. Whether Ava confided in her during one of their icy truce-style conversations at the hospital, or whether Liz stumbled upon the scheme while treating a patient connected to the fallout, one thing is clear: Liz knew what Ava was doing. And instead of blowing the whistle, she kept quiet. Not to protect Ava, but to protect her son. That's right. Spoilers suggest that Jake Weber may somehow be entangled in the aftermath of the cover-up Ava is exploiting. And Liz, fiercely protective as always, decided that keeping Ava's secret, for now, was the best way to shield her child. It's a morally grey area, but not one Liz is unfamiliar with. She's lied to protect people she loves before. This time, it's no different, or so she thinks. What Liz didn't count on was Lucky's sudden decision to play hero. Lucky has always had a complicated relationship with justice. He grew up the son of a cowboy and a con artist. He's been a cop, a private investigator, and even a reluctant criminal when the story called for it. But recently, since his return from Ireland, Lucky has been different. Determined. Focused. Obsessively righteous, some might say. And when he got wind of Ava's scheme, either through an overheard conversation, a tip from Laura, or a stray piece of evidence at the PCPD, he decided he couldn't stay quiet. What he didn't know was that Liz was already involved. Or maybe he did know, and did it anyway. In a move that shocks both allies and enemies alike, Lucky goes public with the truth. He exposes Ava's entire blackmail operation, reveals the contents of the recording, and in doing so sends shockwaves through Port Charles. Ava, backed into a corner, retaliates fast and brutally. Valentine denies everything. Laura is caught in a political nightmare. Nicholas, wherever he is, becomes even more unreachable. And through it all, Liz watches as the secret she was trying to manage explodes in front of her. Jake's connection becomes public knowledge. Her quiet plan to contain the fallout is obliterated. And at the center of it all is the man she just started to trust again, Lucky. The betrayal is immediate and raw. Liz confronts Lucky in a devastating scene that leaves viewers reeling. She doesn't yell, at first. Instead, it's quiet, cold, controlled. A whispered "how could you?" that lands harder than any slap. Lucky tries to defend himself. He talks about doing the right thing, about protecting the town, about exposing corruption. But Liz isn't hearing it. To her, this isn't justice, it's recklessness. And it cost her everything. Again. As the fallout spreads, so does the damage. Jake lashes out at both his mother and Lucky. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want his name dragged through court filings or news stories. And he certainly doesn't want to be used as a pawn in some grand moral crusade. Cameron and Aidan aren't immune to the whispers at school either. Liz finds herself back in crisis mode, alone, exhausted, and furious. And then there's Ava. She doesn't go down quietly. With her leverage exposed and her empire threatened, Ava fights back. She blames Liz for not stopping Lucky. She threatens to take Jake down with her. She starts whispering in Sonny's ear, dropping strategic threats and planting doubt. Liz's world becomes a war zone, and the one person who should have had her back is the one who pulled the trigger. In the days that follow, GA spoilers tease that Liz and Lucky will have one final confrontation. It's not explosive. It's intimate. It's sad. Liz tells him she can't do it anymore. Not just the lies, not just the chaos, but the constant pattern of abandonment and betrayal that's followed them since they were teenagers. She tells him she loves him, but love isn't enough. Not anymore. Not when it costs her children their safety. Not when it costs her her peace. Lucky listens. He doesn't beg. He doesn't fight. He just nods. Maybe he understands. Maybe he always knew this was coming. In the aftermath, Lucky leaves again. Not out of spite, but because he knows he's already broken something that can't be fixed. GA's fans are left wondering if this truly is the end of Liz and Lucky, or just another chapter in their long, complicated story. But for now, Elizabeth is done. She turns the page, she rebuilds. Again. Meanwhile, Ava regroups and reloads. If viewers think the Jerome woman is backing down, think again. There's talk she may have another secret card up her sleeve, one even more damaging than the tape. One that could drag Laura, Cyrus, and maybe even Sunny into the crossfire. And Liz, trying to protect her children, may find herself dragged back into the darkness, whether she wants to or not. One thing is clear: Port Charles is changing. Alliances are shifting. Trust is scarce. And for Elizabeth Weber, the cost of loyalty has never been higher. Will she find solace in someone new? Will Jason step back into her orbit? Will Finn return, tail between his legs? Or will Liz finally choose herself and her family over any romantic entanglements? Whatever happens next, one thing is certain: after Lucky's reckless reveal, the fallout is only just beginning. And if you thought Liz was the one needing saving, think again. She's about to show everyone exactly what she's made of. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.